Morning. I did this yesterday, but it didn't work very well. So, I'm going to do it again this morning, and I'm going for a bike ride inside, by the looks of it. So, let me pause that, because we can listen to a bit of I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Right, what's happened? Oh, let's go for Twitter and PC screen. I was on the PC screen anyway, wasn't it? Right, what am I doing? Here we go. Twitter. Right. I've now pinned that Robert Steele, we have it all, 2 minutes to the top of my Twitter, because it's one of the best things I've seen this year. This just cracked me up, this. That's a classic, isn't it? There we go. There's Joe Biden. Some other character. You can perfectly see the difference in ears there. That earlobe and that earlobe are not of the same clone mould, are they? Or whatever. I've heard that D&I Ratcliffe has delayed his report that was coming out on Friday, that we're all excited about, because we thought he was going to drop his report, election fraud, and Trump was going to drop the EO hammer. But that's not the case at the moment. So Ron's piped up with Ratcliffe is making his report stronger. It's good news. Well, we always know that there's things going on. As a DNI, he should know everything, but let's make sure he does. You know what to do, blah blah, sending stuff there. That's a little meme someone's made up. Look at that. December the 17th is November the 3rd on the Chinese calendar. Now, I didn't know that. That would make 11/11 Xmas. Yes. This is this Gadaffi. It's 10 minutes long, this thing, so I'm not going to play it, but it's about Gadaffi driving around Tripoli. And all the people jumping up and down. You can imagine that's what happened if Trump drove around New York at the moment. I did comment at the time on the Facebook when I posted it. It's about 10 years old, 2011. Look, if David Cameron did that, driving around London, all he'd get is egged, probably. So it's amazing. I looked into this, I looked at all different camera angles, tried to find other. And, you know, I wanted to know if people were driving around with guns going, put your hands up and cheer, because of what we've been told by the Western media. That, but he was trying to bring out a new currency and sell Libyan oil in this African dinar, and it didn't go against the Western plans of their petrodollar, did it? So they went in and they done him over. And they destroyed a lot of that country. But this is amazing, it tells you about what he does. I'll put a link, the video, you can watch that, it's amazing. And it's got a drum and bass soundtrack. Hillary knew. Right, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Basically, this recording has come out of Julian Assange. I'm going to play it for you in a minute, I'll tell you about it then. Edward Snowden's piped up, he didn't know about this. Assange did to minimise the risk to individuals, yeah, but the release of cables was forced, not intentional. Basically, Assange spoke to the White House, whoever at the time, saying one of our employees has got the files, they're going to get them out, we're not doing it, and we need to minimise the risk. And this has only just come out now, so we've all said well, the awakened people have said Assange was a good guy. All that stuff that came out against him was to ruin him. Lynn Woods made a tweet here. Well, all of the focus on the clear election fraud sure has distracted country from the Jeffrey Epstein case. Man, oh man, Epstein case could bring down Biden, Gates, Roberts, that's Chief Justice John Roberts, Clinton and others, maybe even Obama. Sure wish Epstein was alive. Wishful thinking, I guess. You know, you don't tweet stuff like that unless you're pretty sure about it there. Every lie will be revealed. Do you think there is sufficient irrefutable evidence on Anthony Weiner's laptop to support the indictment of many prominent politicians, officials and celebrities, or is it just me? No, it's not just you, is it? As Justice Roberts. Roberts and Scotus are compromised. We've learnt about how much money he's had away and how corrupt he is. You know, that's the Chief Justice of the United States. Drain the swamp. I'm draining the swamp, Jan. It's 22. That was great. I think that's a great meme, that one. Quality. Is this? Yeah. Right, this is the Julian Assange recording between WikiLeaks and he was talking to, bear with, the lawyer in the Clintons' State Department at the time.
Mr. Assange, hello, it's Cliff Johnson.
G'day, Cliff. Thank you for calling back. Have you been briefed? Yeah, so the situation is that we have intelligence that the State Department database archive of 250,000 diplomatic cables, including the classified cables, is being spread around and is to the degree that we believe that within the next few days it will become public, and we're not sure, but the timing could be imminently or within the next few days to a week, and there may be some possibility to stop it.
And are these, and who would be releasing these cables? Is this WikiLeaks?
No, we would not be releasing them. Well, this is Daniel Dumscheit-Berg, a previous employee that we suspended last August.
And so he apparently has had access to the material that WikiLeaks also has?
Yes, that's correct.
And he has access to everything that you have, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and that includes classified as well as the unclassified cables?
That's correct.
I see. And in terms of what they took, does that mean that they now have the ability themselves, without your control or authorization, to make this as available as they want? Is this now in?
That's correct. And there's no attempted redaction program and no attempted harm minimization. In case there are any individuals who haven't been warned, that they should be warned. So the material, there is an encrypted version of the materials on the internet somewhere that we do not control. One doesn't actually need to convey the material itself. One only needs to convey the location of the material and its encryption key. another possibility, which is the taking down of those files. That is a degree of research and effort that we do not have the capacity to do. There are not so many of them.
And you know all the locations of them, you think?
We know several, and it's probably not that hard to find the others.
Can you provide us with that location information?
I can encourage other people to do so. Our view is that it's more your problem than it is ours, but we have been calling the State Department and the embassy for over a day, trying to explain the urgency, and they have not called back other than this call.
Well, I appreciate what you told us, Mr. Assange.
So, there you go. That was 2011, I think. That was never released, was it? Hillary Clinton was, saying so much about Assange after that, and Sam to Surfs said, I think Benghazi happened 16 days after that, this phone call. So, and we all know Hillary Clinton's involvement in that. So, Julian Assange has formally requested a pardon from Donald Trump. No, I've not seen anything else about that. That's the Jim Oft, innit, the Gateway Pundit that said that. That's Julian again. What's that? This is a, if Biden's supposed to have beat Trump, who's got 75 million votes, this is how many people turn up to one of his speeches. It's, well, if you can't see it, now, she showed up, didn't she? Dawn French. Who posted this? Simon Dolan. No words. Now, I'll show you a couple of things in this.
Perhaps we should think about taking down some of these old notices like this and that. And perhaps we put up one like this.
Now, whether she's revealing true colours, whether she knows what she's doing or not, whether she's been told to do it by the Beeb, here she is, Vicar Dibley, Black Lives Matter sign, but she's got an upside down crucifix on. Now, what does that tell you? Is that a prop? Is it hers? Is she a Satanist? Well, I couldn't tell you.
Instead.
That's enough of that. She's done another little video, this lady. Yeah, no words.
By taking all your essential vitamins and minerals, it really helps to boost your immune system. It's a really natural way of doing it. You should look into that. No, I'm just going to go with the government's recommendation. Oh, the pharmaceutical injection that contains aluminium, mercury, neomycin sulfate, and beta-propylactone, and even aborted fetal cells. Yeah, you should take a couple of minutes just to have a look at that information and see how detrimental it is to the human body. Oh, you're such a conspiracy theorist. Indeed, yes. My lifelong ambition to become a conspiracy theorist. And then I became one. Because it was either that or going back to living a complete lie. Anyway, if what I told you was on the 9 o'clock news, would that make it real for you?
Just make sure I'm recording. Yeah. Here's a video of someone getting the injection. Is this Germany, I think? From a different camera angle. There's no needle anywhere in sight. I don't even know if that's from some training video or what, but someone's posting this. 853 retweets. You ain't been watching Judy Mickovic's, Prime Minister's questions. I think Charlie Ward said here that Boris said, I'd like to send the Queen a Christmas card. Where is the best place to send it? I didn't see that, but did anyone see that? Trump money and the Biden money, it's not. Let's play this.
Meanwhile.
That was him talking to that car park, wasn't he? There wasn't a lot of people there. I've seen the different camera angles, but if you look at all that lot there, Trump supporters down there, come to gate crash it. And this, that clip was in there. I think that was from Saturday Night Live or something, before he ran for president. When everyone loved him, before they'd started their hate campaign against him. All guns. Dan Scavino posted this. Someone's worked that out, that exactly the same time. The executive order is EO 13848. Thursday, 78th, 13th at 8:48 exactly. So this could be imminent. Mitch McConnell has now spoke up against Trump. He's one of the head Republicans, and there was pictures of him with sort of looked like he'd been roughed up the other day, so he's sort of joined the Black Eye Club. And his wife is Chinese and has ties to the CCP. So the plot thickens a little bit more. The swamp creatures are showing themselves. Solar Winds offices got raided by the FBI, and this is all to do with this Dominion voting. Dominion, on the Dominion software page, they did have Solar Winds on there, I think, and they've since removed it, or vice versa. something like that. Anyway, it's all coming out. Insurrection Act. Lots of people are posting this picture at the moment, historical moment in the Oval Office. We'll share what it was one of these days when I can. Well, people are looking this. You've got Dan Stevino there, Pence, Trump, you know now, Joe Kushner, I think. But you've got the plane pointing to Abraham Lincoln. You've got 3 empty chairs here, which suggests they're waiting for 3 people to sit down. Who are they? Some people have suggested these 3 dockets here might be pardons. So, you know, we don't know if Assange was pardoned a long time ago, do we? Well, I can't remember when this picture was posted and originally taken, but when Assange got dragged out of the embassy and put in that van, maybe that's when Trump got him out of there. I don't know. It's a lovely little thing here with a bee taking a nail out of a wall.
Look at that. Pull it out, honey bee. You can do it. Go on. Stick a nail in my hole, would you? Good lad.
There you go. I don't want that nail in there. I want to live in there. Now I would suggest to you that nail was obviously not banged into that wall. That was that bee's home, and that guy just popped a nail in there. And the bee came back and went, someone stuck a nail in my hole. I don't like it. Because it was quite loose in there, wasn't it? So, yes, this is Mitch McConnell's wife. A secret discussion between CCP and US politician Elaine Chao at Japan Emperor ceremony. These two are like special agents. Yeah, so is everyone trying to decode this? Has that got a date on it? 16th, yeah. So, no, that's not the original date. So you see the NHS and stuff are backtracking now a bit, aren't you? If you get the vaccine, you still have to social distance and you still have to wear a mask. And the vaccine manufacturers are not liable if anything happens to you. So, good luck with that. This lady made a post yesterday. I'll enjoy this.
So, after my stressful trip to town, where people were wearing masks out in the street, I got talking to a nice guy in the post office queue. He had his mask under his nose. I said to him, you know, the masks are nothing to do with safety. He went, oh, I know, it's ridiculous. I said, if people just stop wearing the masks, stop getting tested, I said, this whole thing would be over and we would have our lives back. And he said, you know, my daughter is a GP and she says exactly the same thing. I was going to ask him if he would go on video, but he was about to take a phone call, so I didn't want to interrupt his phone call. But I know people always say, no, that didn't happen. Well, it did happen. Loads of people are waking up to this. There's loads of reasons to feel really positive. The whole thing is just going to fall down. The house of cards, it's going to be amazing. And what do we think about masks?
They're stupid.
Exactly. So.
They're stupid. Exactly that. And they don't work. Base rate. Loads of people are talking about this. Propaganda. Oh, yes, this is Mark Atwood. wrote a poem, didn't he, called "The Best Is Yet to Come," and this boxer, Ashley Lane.
Ashley Lane, of course, a good, experienced fighter, 30 years old now. He did say during the week that he'd hung the gloves up a few months ago. He felt that he'd achieved everything that he needed to in the sport. Then the offer of this fight came along, and he just couldn't turn it down. He's won the Commonwealth title. He's mixed in some very, very good company. He has never shirked a challenge, and I think he would have looked at Ashback, looked at what has happened to Ashback recently, and that will have been what just piqued his curiosity, appealed to his fighter's instinct, maybe just this one last time, and that's why we're seeing him again tonight. And now,
The Best Is Yet to Come. And if you want to go and read that poem, that's Mark Atwood's The Best Is Yet to Come. This had a few people cracking up yesterday. Every time you smile, a reptilian goes hungry. Well, that's because reptilians feed off fear and negativity, which is why they want to keep you all in fear all the time, because they buzz. Netanyahu's going into self-quarantine apparently, so we know a lot of the time, don't we, that when people go into quarantine they've been arrested, they've got an ankle tag put on, or they're being flown down to the spa for a holiday. The last few drops of the swamp are being drained. Be patient, all traitors must be smoked out. By the way, Newsmax lost your last chance. Yeah, Newsmax, they've turned, haven't they? So I think they've did they get behind Biden? I can't remember. Anyway, that's just Steve Bannon's war room now, and OAN. I wouldn't listen to anything else. Well, you can listen to Stu's News if you like. I've monkey. Looks like we have another medical bird going down to the spa. Now here's what's interesting about it. Why go to FLL first? What's that? Don't know. I want to go to there, but yeah, so he's got his eyes on the skies and everything, so we keep up with him. Monkey works all the time. Now AG Barr's gone. We still don't know what his part of this is. Whether he's a good guy or bad guy, but I can't tell you. You know, I'm going to say slightly more. It's a good guy, or he certainly played his part very well, what he was meant to do. But it's sort of 50-50 really. But the new Deputy Attorney General, Richard Donoghue, who is in the drops, his father was JFK's personal attorney. Oh, now that's a coincidence, isn't it? Not. Ellin Wood posted this, and I watched this yesterday. 2020 election investigation. Who is stealing America? Please watch that film. It's outstanding. You can just have a read of that. If you want to pause it, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you JP at the end. Mitch McConnell slamming Trump. Yeah, we've been into that. Someone asked, one of the Anons asked, an Anon asked Dan Scavino to post a picture of an eagle a day before we hear the tweet, my fellow Americans, much like being used as the phrase tippy top not long ago. Let's see what happens. Now, you know, some people are saying that we're already in these days of darkness, but we don't know what it means, does it? 10 days of darkness. You know, 17 has not made a drop for 10 days before. On numerous occasions, you know, it might be that, but we're looking at everything. Anyway, Scavino's posted this eagle pic, so that was a couple of days ago, wasn't it? 14th, 17th today, 17th. Let's see what happens. What's this? Oh, it's Dr. Hilary out shopping with a mask on after he's constantly telling all you lot to wear a mask. I'm sure there's an indictment with that's name on it. Definitely Piers Morgan, serpent. People forget what he's done in the past. Pompeo talking about, and that's down to Nygaard. Now Nygaard's been arrested. He's like, I mean, he doesn't look like any sort of deviant at all, does he? Who's he with there? That serpent. He's in trouble. De Niro. All these people that are shouting loudly against Trump. Ugh, serpent. That looks like a geezer, doesn't it? Anyway, there's Mitch McConnell and Trump. Done all that. Showed you all that. Alright. JP.
Hello, peasant. We here at the social media headquarters have been getting a lot of fan mail about people loving censorship and wanting more of it. But just in case you're in a place of confusion about the helpfulness of our censorship policies, I'm here to help you think correctly. You see, what you may not realize is that free speech is actually pretty dangerous. It can lead to things like freedom, fair elections, and empowerment. So we've transformed how we run social media to put in place some powerful and exciting policies to provide protection for you from the dangers of free speech. So please join me here to review our updated community guidelines that you'll love to be told to follow. Or else. You have freedom of speech when you repeat what's in line with the narrative that we propagate. And you can rest assured that it's a narrative based on absolute truth, because we're trying to play God over you. You may speak about health conditions when it's done so out of fear, dread, and panic. You may not speak about health conditions in any other light. You may speak about experimental treatments when it's done so out of excitement to get in line to be a guinea pig. You may not speak about experimental treatments when it's in any other light. You're allowed to see only what we want you to see. Right, Jack?
We have very clear policies on the conduct we enable on the platform.
Incredibly clear. And spoken like a warm, loving human, I might add. If you see information published by an enemy of the people before our censors have a chance to erase it, our fact checkers will let you know that you didn't see what you just saw. Trust us. For example, if you saw this video from Georgia of poll workers being told to leave the room, and then this suitcase filled with ballots being pulled out from under a table, our fact checkers would gladly correct this misinformation by letting you know, and I quote, "Fact check. Video from Georgia does not show suitcases filled with ballots suspiciously pulled from under a table. Poll watchers were not told to leave." As you can clearly see, you saw wrong, probably because you're mentally ill. So we corrected you, and you're welcome. You'll want to understand that the leftist agenda, translated from 2020 language, the socialist progressing into the communist agenda, is fed to the mainstream media. And that's what you're allowed to repeat here on social media. Because everyone believes what they hear, and then repeat, and hear others repeating. So yeah, getting you to believe things that aren't believable is what we at social media are doing now. If you share ideas that are contrary to the socialist propaganda that we exclusively allow, we'll threaten to silence you by deplatforming you. Then your role is to be afraid and self-censor into enslavement of the one true narrative that we allow. Then by continuing to be on the platform, you'll think you still have a voice, when in actuality, you'll have given up your voice to stay on our platform. But if you're accidentally choosing bravery and exercising your freedoms and true voice, then we'll deplatform you. It's a bit of an ethnic cleansing of thought on our platform. While you're allowed to spread the approved messages, you're also allowed to spread misinformation about anybody who opposes the socialist agenda. When people are representing actual truth and freedom, you're allowed to interpret that as misinformation and attack them. And we encourage that. With these new and, dare I say, very improved community guidelines in mind, just remember, we're here to protect you. Because unlike some misinformation out there says, we're not here to control you, we're here to protect you. You can trust the social media dictators because they have human hearts and your best interest in mind. Right, Mark?
I do not know.
Sounds like a yes to me. You already knew these things were happening in communist China, Russia, and North Korea, and now you know they're happening here. Except they're in English. Obedience is next to godliness. And we, as your gods, will be happy to continue protecting you from what we tell you you're afraid of. We'll just need your continued obedience. What's up, my friend? Here's a quick thought for you. If you're worried about being enslaved by the corrupt, then you must wake up to how you've enslaved yourself to the media, social media, and being protected. Because those are the ways the corrupt enslave you. One other thing, the social media platforms, most recently Facebook, as you can see here, are getting very serious about deplatforming me. Now here's my pledge to you. I will not silence myself out of fear of being deplatformed. Yet I'll invite you to follow me on the new platform, Parler. Why? Because it's a censorship-free platform, and that's where I need to be in order to voice what I need to voice to the weirdos like you that want to see my content. My username on Parler is @AwakenWithJP. Look forward to seeing you there.
Already there, me old chum. Right, what else? Let me just go back to there for a bit. What else have I got on here? Yes, now, if Kamala Harris, Joe Biden were confident about becoming the next president and vice president or whatever, why hasn't Kamala Harris given up her seat in Congress? I think it's in Congress, but she hasn't given up her seat yet, and I think Obama gave up his seat after 3 hours or something, or 3 days. Don't know exactly, but she's still hanging on to that, so they know something's afoot, don't they? And they are definitely not confident or whatever. So the deep state is holding back on that or something. We keep hearing now that it's going to be a second wave, or is it third wave? Because we've got more doctors dancing videos now, haven't we? Out in the States, I think it was in the States. I didn't retweet it or anything. So I've seen some doctors' videos again now, and the question we ask, amongst all the other questions we ask, is if there's a third wave or a second wave, and they're all really busy now, as the media wants you to think, why are they doing dancing videos? Exactly, I'll say no more about that. The American Medical Association has quietly, just before the election, I think, on October the 30th, reversed their position on HCQ, hydroxychloroquine. So when they were saying at the start of this, do not take it, it will kill you, all this sort of stuff, in all the media and all these people knowingly misled you and lied to you. I told my mum about HCQ, right at the start. What rubbish. Because it's not in the news, you see. So it's all coming out now that the benefits about it. And we've said this, that they will all start reversing their position on what we've said from the start. We're not right at the start, but once we've done a bit of investigation. So that's happening. So they put the Lancet report out, didn't they? And there was another report from somewhere else, which about hydroxychloroquine. All the doctors that were coming out, they censored them, didn't they? That were telling the truth. And the Lancet report, it came out, it did the damage, and then they quietly redacted that, didn't they? So, when are you going to start listening to the people, the invest? You can call us conspiracy theorists, truthers, loonies, nutters, tinfoil hat wearers, whatever you like. But we're the ones doing all the digging, and we're finding all the information out. So, when are you going to start listening? Let's just get a global red pillar, Mr. Trump, can we? Turn off all the communications, please, and just get the emergency broadcast system on everyone's TVs. That'll probably do it. Because what Donald Trumpington is doing at the moment, he's not just taking down Big Pharma. He's taking down government officials, CCP people, Antifa, Hollywood serpents, paedophiles, bankers, all the media, corrupt doctors, and medical professionals that are knowingly all in on this. So, good on him. Right, that's the end of that. Please, go and watch this video. Let me just show you what I learnt about Libya. It's all about Gadaffi's Green Book. I've watched this 3 times since yesterday, so I will put the link below. Right, let's go to my finishing screen. Have a lovely day. Might do another one later. Let's see what happens.